Well, hello. The big election was this week, and we did not win a seat on the city council. There were five Democratic challengers, and we were the highest vote getter of all of those challengers. And in fact, one of the seats, which is still not quite decided, it's very close, will end up with a member on the city council who actually got fewer votes than I did. In our district, we had Brian Goodell, who was the top vote getter, as well as myself, and I was the top vote earner among the challengers. So this is really this report, plus it's an effort for us to thank you. Lynn and I just had a wonderful time getting to know the district better, getting to know the election process better, and it's one of the many things we've done over our 44 years together that was a project shared and enjoyed together. So thank you for that, and thank you for your contribution to making Mission Viejo better. I mean, some of the many things that we have to thank you for is donations. My campaign was well funded and well supported. We had people that would send us $10 or maybe $100, and we had some larger contributions from the Canyon Democrats. Uh, we got a lot of good advice. I was running for a elected position for the first time in my life. I had worked on a lot of school bond issues and other local elections, but never been a candidate before. And so I had a lot of suggestions and a lot of advice along the way from some people that knew more about um, local elections or knew more about Mission Viejo or just cared about some of the same issues I did and wanted to present them in the best way possible. Many of you set up meetings. I had a lot of get-togethers, large and small. The Costa del Sol Democrats invited me into a rather large meeting. The Chamber of Commerce invited me to what they called a meeting. I'm not sure it really was. And lots of neighborhoods had me in for groups of 4 or 5 people or 15 or 20 people. And I really appreciate all of that. And then we had a ground game. We had members of the Canyon Democrats covering two of the precincts in our district with literature drops. So they covered all of the households in a precinct on a weekend morning, and I got to be part of that a couple of times. But a large army went out and covered with lit drops, and we greatly appreciate that. We also had individuals that helped me. One of the things I liked best was going door to door and knocking on doors and talking to people. And I had people helping me with knocking on doors and doing lit drops as well. Very grateful for that. I think the personal contact probably got us more voters almost than anything else that we did. A lot of us put out yard signs, and I appreciate that. So some of the people don't know a lot about what's going on in local politics, and they just notice the yard signs as they're driving by. That's one more way to get the message out. We had some software given to us, loaned to us, I guess I should say, at no cost, which allowed me to be my own treasurer. Providing the duties of the campaign treasurer can be an expensive item, but in this case, it took some of my time, but it did not cost us any fees or stipends. I'm grateful for that. We had a lot of help from the Canyon Democrats in providing the lists and maps that we needed to go through the neighborhoods and know which houses had voters in them, and if those voters were, frequent voters, and if they were Democrats or no party preference or some other party. Uh, I had a lot of help with the graphics for my literature, whether it was the postcards that we mailed out or the flyers that we took door to door, the yard signs or other graphics. And that again was a fantastic volunteer helping us out, sometimes on very short notice, and very, very grateful for that. I designed my own website, but it had a number of technical flaws. And again, a wonderful Kenyan Democrat volunteer jumped in and fixed my website in a matter of hours. And that uh, for that, I'm eternally grateful. And it was left open. So as we went on, we added to and modified the website. And at the end of the day, we got a lot of hits on the website, especially later on in the campaign. And I was glad that there was so much good content there, so that people that don't get to know what's going on any other way could check the websites and find that out. Of course, the biggest thanks of all is for the votes. As I said before, we did better than any of the challengers in our vote count, and we actually did better than one of the winners in one of the other districts. So the people that took the time to get out and vote, I'm very grateful to. Don't understand why such a small percentage of our city votes, and that's a problem that's not just in Mission Viejo, but in many parts, if not everywhere, in California and even our country. Um, and I had many people just simply thank me for running. And a lot of people give me encouragement along the way. And it's an exhausting effort, and sometimes a frustrating, discouraging effort. So the people that said thank you, and the people that offered encouragement, and the people that took time to inform me and educate me on some of the topics that I needed to know more about, really, really helped. So I hope that you feel good about your involvement in our campaign, whatever that involvement might be. And I think it's really important that we all stay involved in what's going on in democracy, locally, in our state, and in our country. This is really a turning point where either free and fair elections and getting better and better candidates running for those elections happens, or some things start to fall apart. We've had some things fall apart here in Mission Viejo. Some of the candidates that are returning are people that we hope to remove from office, but let's hope that they learned something from this experience, and some of the opportunities to misbehave that came to them in the last 3 years, they will avoid in the next 4 years. But again, thank you so much for being part of this campaign. It was a fantastic experience for me and Lynn personally, but it was also, in my view, a great contribution to the improvement of our city. Many thanks.